Alright, welcome everybody. I'm going to give a class on how to remove the supercharger clutch gear. We did one video on it before, a couple years ago, and we're in the situation again where we're going to be doing another switch over of the supercharger clutch sprag or bearing, whatever you want to call it. This is on a 2020 gp1800R, and I'm going to be removing some of the bolts. I've already removed a couple bolts here and here. You have to take the support off to be able to get to those bolts back right there on the back side. So I'm going to be removing this, the actual supercharger itself, and then down there is the oil pump, which I'll be removing. Okay, I have removed the bracket, the supercharger holding bracket. Actually, it's the bracket that holds the intercooler, and I took that one off so far. All right, there are 6 bolts to hold the supercharger in. We got 4 big ones, 11 millimeter, and we got 2 small ones, 10 millimeters. So this is one of the bolts. Go to the oil line, right there. Then you have to take off that 8 millimeter, and then that other 12 millimeter got to come all the way off. That's the feed for the oil coming from the oil pump. Okay, now that the supercharger is off, I'll be taking off the water pump. The oil pump right there. I'll be taking off that oil pump. You have to take off the oiling line right there. You have to loosen it on the back side. This is a place where some people put their oil pressure gauge, but I have to loosen up that, take off the little 8 millimeter bolt. The bolt that you see right here is a banjo bolt, and it has 2 seals, one on the outside, one on the inside, that must come off. And then there's 12 of these hex bolts that comes off, and the oil pump will come off of the front of the engine. Okay, so far I have gotten 10 of the bolts off of the perimeter of the oil pump, and I'm pretty sure that's all of them. I have been taking the mirror to go around, and I'm going to check one more time before I try and pop that gasket off. There's one bolt that's in the center right here, that goes in right here, and I'm going to show you once I get the oil pump off that a lot of people don't know about that blind bolt. Okay, I got the front pump off, and there's a couple parts that you have to take off before you do the gear. So this right here is the upper gear, and there is a pin. There's a pin that comes out from the front of the jet ski engine housing. Okay, so you got to pull that pin out with the magnet like that, and the pin pulls out. All right, and then I relocated it like it came out. So then once you get that out, there's a bolt that screws into the front gear, and this is the bolt. It's a 17 millimeter. But the thing that you have to know about this bolt is you have to put your impact wrench. They have a tool that will hold the gear, but the newer jet skis, you can get an impact in there, or air impact, or battery power impact. Don't do the battery power because it'll create sparks and it could be some fumes in that hull. And my brother had a hull explosion one time with I'm not gonna name the brand, but the sparks from the brushes or from the motor ignited the fume. So anyway, use an air impact and put it on Titan mode because these are reverse threads. You can look at it, they're reverse threads. Then once you get that bolt out, out comes the clutch. The clutch gear is right here, and in behind this this keeper right here sits the clutch gear, and this is the replacement. And I will do a little short video on taking it apart. You can actually get the new sprag or the new bearing, which I went on and ordered a backup. This is my backup. I bought a whole gear set as my backup. So this is the clutch gear. All right. Hey, so those are a couple of my students right there. They get ready to go take their ASC certification.
Great.
All right, good luck.
Good luck.
So you drop the new gear in, well, place the gear in, it's splined on the back side. And then you're gonna take your bolt. You're gonna stick it in there, and you're gonna turn it like you're loosening it because it's reverse thread. All right, so you screw that up in there. There's another piece I'm gonna show you. You need to make sure you keep up with when you take out that upper gear. There's a sleeve up top, a special sleeve. I have a couple extras from some engine rebuilds that myself and Eddie did on a few of my skis and some other engines, and I'll show that to you. That's a 17 millimeter. So this little sleeve right here that you're gonna see me push in. All right, right there. That's the sleeve that this pin right here rides on. And you need to make sure you don't drop that thing on the inside of your engine. So you gotta always keep an eye on it. Sometimes I put a zip tie on it so it won't fall out. All right, now I'm gonna tighten up the crank bolt. I have that buttoned up down there, got the bolt tight. All right, one of the things you can do when checking your supercharger to see if your gear has completely gone, and I covered this in one of the other videos trying to get my light right for y'all. There we go. So when you're in this mode, you take this gear and you turn it, and it should only turn one way. If you turn it back this way, it should not turn. That lets you know your clutches aren't all the way gone. It should be a one-way spin. So mine wasn't all the way gone. So how I knew that I needed to replace it and it wasn't all the way gone is when I got up to speed, let's just say in the 70s towards the 80s, the jet ski slowed down to like 50, 52. And then as soon as you stop and let out of the throttle and let the jet ski settle, it'll pick back up and come back up to speed. But every once in a while, it will drop back down to 50. That's how you know it's complete. That's it's about to go. All right. If it completely goes, then you'll go about 40 miles per hour and it'll never recover. And that's how you know that the sprag has completely let go. So I'm about to do a way that you can test. If you take this tube off of the front of your air intake tube, you would take your finger and you would spin the impeller. All right, and when you spin that impeller, if it spins both ways like that, you know that your clutch has completely gone. All right, but like I say, I caught mine before mine was completely gone, so I was able to save it. to because sometimes if it completely lets go, you damage some other things. All right, so that's a way to test it on the jet ski. Okay, I got the pump back on, and now I'm putting the oil feed line on. This is the banjo bolt, and there's a seal washer here and the seal washer on the back side. So you gotta make sure that both of those are on in between your line. Here's the supercharger that came off. All right, here are all the tools that I use. The only time I use the air ratchet, it was for the bracket bolts for the intercooler right here. Other than that, it was all hand tools. This was for the crank bolt that holds on the clutch gear. They have a tool where you don't have to use it, but in the newer skis, they provide enough space for that. So this is all the tools involved. One of the main things is one of these number 5s. You can get the long ones, and what I did is I cut it. I cut about 1/4 of it off, and it was like the perfect length for all of the hex head screws that was in the housing. All right. So at this point, I'm going to stop for the night because I got all day tomorrow to finish up. But I got the supercharger back on, torqued down, and all the other bolts, the oil line feed bolts, they're all tight. And all I have left tomorrow is the water cooling line that goes down there on top of the oil filter housing right here, and I'm gonna hang that up there so I don't forget it, and the tube for the supercharger, the intake tube. Mine's have the blow-off valve on it right here. It protects it's there to protect the clutch. I'm sure as hard as I ride, that clutch would have been gone. So I've gotten, let me see, 2.5 years, and the clutch just went bad, and I grew right hard. So there is no easy riding, and we mainly do rough water, which is where that gear really kind of lets loose, that clutch gear. But so I'm almost finished. If you have any questions, feel free to post them. I'll answer them as soon as I can. Notice I slid my jet ski back. Normally I prop up a piece of wood, but I put a piece of protector on the back by my nozzle, and all I did was slid my jet ski back to let the weight of the jet ski hold the trailer up. That way it gives you good angles to get at that inside the hull for anything really. And then I put wheel chalk so that it won't roll back. So that's the angle that you really want. It makes it real easy to lean over the hull. If you take it off of the trailer, it's too low. If you lay it down the other way, it's too high. So this is like the perfect scenario. All right. So this is the clutch gear disassembled. So you have one section that sits in there like that, and then this clip is the retainer clip that holds it in. So you pretty much get some snap ring pliers, squeeze on your clip. You gotta flip this over, and you tap on the back side to get the outer gear off. And when it comes out like this. This is the part that the clutch bearing rolls on. And as you can see inside is the clutch roller bearing. That washer right there goes down in there, and you can tell which side it rides on by those indentations. Alright, that rolls like that. And then this is the clutch bearing. All right, and if you see the distortion right there, every other one has got a little distortion. And what's happening is these little rollers, these bearings, they start getting twisted sideways and they start bending because of the torque. So I'll spin this around and you can see there go another one that's bent. So this one didn't completely let go. When it's completely let go, these right here are twisted all out and these bearings start falling out when you take them out of the main gear housing. There go another one. You can see it's tweaked right there. So that's how you know that this bearing is bad. So you can get the replacement bearings on eBay. All right, it's a place out of Poland. Also PWC parts, which is Seneca Boat Sales. You can get them from them, or you can go to Riva Racing and you can get the whole gear set. I got the plug, my guy. He deals with myself and Eddie a lot, so he hooks us up with some decent prices just for being loyal customers that have spent thousands of dollars with them. So there's several ways you can go. So I always keep at least one gear set together and one extra roller bearing, sprag bearing, clutch bearing, whatever you want to call it. It works like a sprag, one-way clutch. All right.